We have Xavier talking to us from Florida. Let's see if I'm right. Xavier, you're live on Talk Heathen. What's up?
What's up? What's up?
How is it going today,
According to the
Xavier?
last-
What do you got for us?
According to the last caller, a being named Satan runs the world, but there are many conflicting agendas. I don't think anybody truly runs everything. Nature, I would say nature runs everything. So I think atheists and theists are both missing the point. It's all about what we call Mother Nature, the essence of all things. What people call God, or what scientists call reality, are all expressions of the Tao. So I'm basing off this on Daoism. You are both children of the universe. So we are all children of the Tao. The Tao is that which gives us all life and that which started the universe. Even science cannot explain the origin of all things, but Taoism gives us the peace of mind and say, we don't know, and let nature run its course. So yeah.
Thoughts, Emma? What do you think?
I think it's worth noting that science is the kind of foundation of science is saying I don't know. So I think that's a slightly incorrect thing to say, but that's we don't know is my favorite thing in the world to say. So I'm happy to hear that perspective.
Yeah, I mean, there are atheists that don't necessarily make the claim that there are no gods, although historically that has been a perspective in atheism. I mean, there is a lot that just say that we don't know, but they are still comfortable with the atheist label. The thing I want to know, though, is when we talk about us being children of the universe, I mean, like, I agree that we are products of the universe. I mean, really, we're not products of, we are like a part of the universe. We're made of atoms, energy, matter, the stuff that the rest of the universe is like. But why does that necessarily mean that I have to have a spiritual component to that, right? Like, what makes me have to say, well, this is a part of a grand sort of narrative? You get what I'm saying?
Well, you don't have to say it. This isn't like dogma.
Okay.
Yeah, we our origin is from the universe. So
yeah,
that's what I mean. The word children is just a metaphor. I don't mean like
okay, sure.
The universe is like
sure. But, yeah, absolutely. I get you there. But like, you're saying that God, that theists and atheists are both missing something, and like, if you could elaborate on that, because like, what exactly am I missing? You know what I mean? Like, what do you have that I don't have? Because I want to know.
An awareness of the natural flow of all things. There's a natural flow to everything. I call it energy. We call it energy, or chi, and so that runs the entire universe, and that is which gives us life. So it's, I guess, I don't know. I don't like the word that you're missing something, because you're alive just as much as I am. So I don't want to put it in that way, that we have something that you don't. But I would say it's just an awareness, an awareness and a peace of mind, knowing that everything is flowing smoothly. Nature just is, and that's pretty. I guess I would say that's the most a useful way of looking at the universe, is just acknowledging the Tao, and Tao, the Tao is just is, and people used to call it Mother Nature. So I would say it's an awareness.
Okay.
I think it's interesting that I have sort of the opposite reaction. I agree with that perspective, and sometimes it can be helpful and relaxing to accept that it just is. It's like looking up at the stars and realizing that you are one tiny part of a much bigger universe, which might be part of a much bigger thing. But I think the fact that nature just is, I would say nature is chaos. It's utterly chaotic out there. Things happen, and the fact that we have life, the fact that energy flows through us is the result of circumstance, and it doesn't really change anything about my life. I don't really, I suppose I don't really know what it is that perspective is adding, other than just a sense of calm, because you believe that is it kind of almost a predetermined kind of thing, like when you say it's flowing smoothly?
That's fatalism. It's not
Mhm.
like that at all. I don't.
Okay.
I've never heard Taoists say that, and all the Taoist masters I've listened to, they don't say, "Oh, everything is determined," because that would assume there's
Mhm.
agency to the universe. Um, it's just the way
Okay.
that everything flows. There's pain and there's good feelings. There's chaos, but there's also order. That's why it's the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There- there-
Well, you know,
yeah.
when I hear this perspective, Xavier, if this is a perspective that you find comfort in and it gives you a sense of peace, then I'm all for that. Okay. If this is something that you personally get something out of, that's great. For me, though, when I hear this perspective, I kind of just hear one big deepity, if you ever heard this word. Now, deepity is kind of something that sounds really profound and sounds really deep. It sounds really meaningful, but kind of isn't saying anything at all, or is kind of just saying something that's almost obvious in a way. So again,
Mm.
this is how I feel when I hear this, because it may be fun to say, well, there's chaos and there's good and there's bad and there's kind of this and that, and I can just kind of organize the universe in that way in my mind, and that's fine. That does that actually functionally, pragmatically, even psychologically do anything for me? No. Like if I'm a kid and I'm in World War II and there's bombs that are about to drop on me, and versus me sitting in my home comfortable in the first world, like I feel like I get to be in the privileged perspective and kind of say like, yes, the universe just kind of goes as it is, because I'm not on the receiving end of a terrible blight or a terrible trauma or a terrible something or other, right? It's like I feel like it's almost like a survivorship bias here, where we can
Mm.
kind of sit here and say, yes, there is something there to the universe, when really it just kind of seems like randomness. I don't even know if we can even call it good or bad sometimes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I understand. You use the word there, functionality. Um,
Yeah.
there's a functionality to Taoism if you practice qigong, and it's just you're flowing more naturally with nature. You can connect yourself deeper on a deeper level with the universe around you to allow you to accept things like death. Or let's just say you're on the other receiving end of the atomic bomb,
Hmm.
and you can accept your death peacefully. Um,
Hmm.
or it gives you a sense of contentment to accept the good things even on a more deeper level.
Sure.
And
Okay.
since I've been practicing qigong, I'm sorry, I feel closer and even more connected to myself, to the universe around me, and my body's functioning better because I'm connecting on a deeper level.
Okay.
Being
Okay.
more naturally in tune.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would consider different from somebody else practicing any other kind of spirituality? I spoke to somebody recently who practices tantric massage and was describing a similar elevated sense of the body and place in the world. Is there something that you think Taoism gives you that other methods can't?
I would say, it's different for every person. I can't say Taoism does this one thing for every single human being. We all have
Mhm.
different journeys and different bodies and different mindsets and different cultures. But I would say for me personally, it gave me emotional regulation that Christianity didn't offer me, because Christianity says if I don't serve this being, he's going to torture me forever. That didn't really work for me. Uh, but it gave me regulation of my emotions, making better peace with my own mortality, and just practicing qigong allowed me to be healthier overall on my day-to-day life.
Good.
Yeah.
It, yeah,
Yeah. Well, see, that's something there, right? Where we can actually measure, right? We can actually see people's general rates of anxiety versus non-anxiety, right? We can look at your heart rates, we can look at your metabolism, we can like see that and see. And I actually have no doubt, I haven't personally seen anything, but I have no doubt that people who practice certain forms of Taoism in practice probably do experience like more relaxed states of being and stuff, right? So again, like if that gives you a practical benefit, and that's not all. And I don't want to be too sort of functional in my life and say, well, if it doesn't give you practical benefit, then it's not worth pursuing. There's lots of things that don't give you practical benefit that are still worth pursuing in my mind. But like in terms of a religious perspective, right? If this is a life stance that is generally a positive thing for you, I say go for it. I don't know. I don't really have a problem with that, to be honest with you. Like, do you feel the same way, Emma?
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
doesn't really. I'm happy for you. It doesn't really impact me because I feel like I get the things that you discuss from meditation or like even counseling techniques, or exercise.
Yeah.
But if it works for you and it makes you happy, then that's cool.
Yeah, I guess a thumbs up from us. Cool, cool story, bro. But I mean that in like a positive way,
In
not
a
like a
good way.
dismissive way. Yeah, like cool story, bro. Like that's very cool. So thanks for sharing that perspective, Xavier. I
Thanks,
do
Xavier.
appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know what else to comment on that other than, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit like, I don't know what it means to be connected with the universe or whatever, like some of that again is just kind of very wishy-washy language to me. But like maybe part of the human experience is to be wishy-washy.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. And I guess I'll leave it at that.